If it only works when you're there, it's not working yet. There was this holiday when I said I was off. I turned my out of office on, I muted all my notifications. Everyone on the team was completely briefed. And yet I logged in to see how the sales were going for the day from the airport and answered one tiny quick thing in my emails, and then approved payroll 3 days later from the hotel room and spent basically half the trip braced. I wasn't relaxing. I was absolutely hovering. I was just working from a prettier location. I wasn't actually taking a break. And it was in that moment that I realized if the business only really feels safe when I'm watching it, then I haven't built safety into my business at all. I've built full-time supervision from me. Welcome back to the Moxie Movement. We want to think about the fact that in our businesses, you don't stay involved because you love the control. You stay involved because payroll depends on it, the clients trust you, standards matter, mistakes are making and costing you money, and your reputation is fragile. This isn't ego, this is your responsibility. But this responsibility without some structure becomes tethering to your business. And tethering feels like you can't switch off fully. You never take real leave and you pop in on your days off. It means that you're the emotional shock absorber for absolutely everything happening in your business. There's no freedom in that. That's absolute vigilance. That's you being on all the time. It looks like clients asking for you by name. The people that work for you escalating anything that needs to be done to you. Unhappy client, go and get the boss. Stock decision, they're going to double check with you. Every tricky email comes past you as a draft. Scope creep always lands in your inbox, and clients wait for your sign off and won't believe your team. If there's roster stress, you solve it. Staff conflict, you're the mediator. You are the safety net, everything here. But if you are the only safety net, the system isn't safe. This is partly because of who we are. It's the part we probably don't talk about it enough. For years, your value's been in you being capable, you being needed, being the one who can handle it all. So when our business starts to grow and it doesn't need you in every tiny way, it's uncomfortable. Because all of a sudden, if you're not the glue, who are you? You're the architect of this business. But that requires letting go of being the fixer. A couple of episodes ago, I talked about decision containment. This time around, we're talking about the trust transfers. And there are 3 transfers that you have to engineer at this size in your business. The first one is your client trust, your customer trust. This is about your brand and your customer experience. If you're finding that your clients and your customers only trust the business when you're physically present, then they've attached their trust to your face. And we want to instead make sure that trust lives in our standards, in the experience consistency that they have, regardless of whether you're there or not, and in the clear communication that they get from you or your team members, all in the same way. This trust should exist in the repeatable delivery that your business has. It shouldn't rely on your proximity to the clients and the customers. This one here is about building relationships. This one here is about making sure that your systems, your communication, your delivery creates raving fans regardless of who's delivering it. If you getting a 5-star review requires you to be there, it can't have someone else's name in it, we haven't transferred the trust. And so what standards do we have to have? What systems do we have to have in place? And what comms should exist from the business to the clients to make sure that they can trust it even when you're not there, that they're going to get the same or better experience, whether it's you delivering it or it's one of your team. Because we don't want this client trust to exist based on our proximity to the premises, to the business. That one's going to be heavy for a long time. The second one is team trust. We want to move this from the team relying that they can get things done when you're there to some rhythm and some clarity. Your team doesn't need you watching them. What they need is some clear dashboards, some clear Key performance indicators. What are the measures of whether they are doing a good job or not? And do they know whether they're meeting them or not? If you don't have those, if you don't say, hey, here's what great looks like and here's what not great looks like, how are they supposed to meet them? First and foremost, for every role in your business, you should know exactly which parts of the business they touch and what you're measuring them against. Whether that be reviews from your customers and clients, whether that be cost of goods percentages or wage cost ratios or closed sales. You need to know what they are, and so do they. They need to know what great looks like and what it looks like when the standards are slipping. Once they know what the standards are, then there needs to be some really clearly defined authority. Who reports to who? Now, obviously, you're going to have some team members that report directly to you. There will be someone somewhere that reports to you. We don't want to have any more than 5 direct reports in our business. That's heaps. That's a lot of people to meet with every week. That's a lot of people to develop and move forward. That means that every time you get over another 5 employees, you're going to be thinking about what's the structure here that works best for us. We don't ever want one employee reporting to 2 people. We did this badly in the early days with Johnny and I. And if they didn't get an answer from Johnny that they liked, they'd come to me and hope that I would get a bigger, better answer, or vice versa. They didn't get the answer they wanted from me, they'd run to Johnny. It has to be defined. Who are they reporting to? One person. And that they know that when they go to that person, they're going to get an answer that they can execute on. You also want to think about, how are we connecting with people? How are we doing a weekly review? For me, I'm always thinking about people that are reporting to me directly, and we've got some pretty small teams, and one of my businesses have only got 3 people on the team and me. They're all reporting directly to me. There's no management structure here. So I want to meet with all of them one-to-one every week so that we can stay on track and we can keep things moving forward. If you've got a bigger team than that, you want to be thinking about, who are they meeting with every week? How often am I getting all the information that I need? You don't need to necessarily meet with every person in your business every week unless they're a direct report to you, but you do need to be getting information so you can review it. And they need to know when that review is going to happen, because they want to know that every week there's a rhythm that they can do the work, give you the information, and get told what's been really great and what needs tweaking and adjusting. And the last thing they really need is, what is the escalation path? If this doesn't work, where do I go? Because if everything's ad hoc in your business, if they don't know what the standards are, what's going to be great and what's going to be not so good, if they don't know who they should talk to and they don't know what the weekly review looks like and who to escalate things through, of course they escalate everything to you because you're the boss, you're the business owner. The buck stops with you, and they know that ultimately if they bring it to you, that shit will get done. It'll get resolved, it'll get sorted because it's your business. So if you let everything be ad hoc with your team, they're going to escalate it to you every time. And then lastly, you want to create operational trust. This is about making sure you've got even without your presence in the workplace. You just need to be able to see some things clearly so that you feel informed. So this means on a daily basis, you need to know what's going on in terms of sales, in terms of revenue. Can you see what's coming through the door cash flow wise today? If you can't, we need to figure that out. You also need to know what's going on with the payroll. You don't want to have a payroll that's $2,000 this week and one that's $10,000 next week without you knowing about it. There needs to be some really clear payroll forecasting. In some businesses, it's easy. It's the same every week of the year because everyone's on salaries. That's not the case. So you want to know in advance, what do these payrolls look like? This is about having really simple dashboards where you can see, what are the needle movers in my business? What are the levers I need to pull or my team need to pull? And are we in the red zone? The orange zone needs some work, or green, everything's working like it should. Because if you have those dashboards and you can see what's going on in your business without you needing to be there, that's going to mean you don't feel like you need to be on site. We run a boat business in the Bay of Islands in New Zealand, and I'm talking to you from an island in Thailand right now. But I also know how many people are on my boat right now, how much fuel's in the boat, how many sales were made over the bar last night, how many people are going to be on the boat next week, what are the wage costs this week, what are they going to look like next week. I can go and look without flying all the way to New Zealand and see all of that information. And I know that everyone's having regular check-ins with the right people inside those businesses. It doesn't need to be with me because none of them report directly to me. But I know that Johnny's talking to a skipper and the skipper is talking to all the team members every week so that we know what's going on. Johnny's talking to Jem, who's running all the logistics on shore in terms of bookings and phone calls and emails. And I know that they're regularly checking in with each other and then it's coming back to me as and when I need that information. Because with this information flowing where it needs to be, I don't need to hover over it. If you're hovering over your business, it's normally because you don't have visibility over the things that matter to you. If we ran a 2-week test, we're going to have to ask some growing up questions. If you disappeared for 2 weeks, who handles the complaints? Who signs off refunds? Who looks at the roster gaps? And who handles any staff tension? If an honest answer is me to most of those, this isn't a business freedom problem. This is a structure gap. And the nice thing about this is that structure gaps are totally fixable. If the business only works when you're present, it's not a business yet. It's a job you're very good at. And you didn't build this just to create yourself a more expensive job. You built it for flexibility, for more impact and more choice. And choice disappears when everything depends on you. This week, don't rebuild the whole business. Just pick one thing that only you currently do and ask, does this need me or better clarity? And then move it to a rule or a rhythm. And that's it. Not 5 or 10, just one. You're not weak for wanting this to run without you. You are not selfish for wanting space from your business. And you're definitely not less committed for wanting school holidays without constant notifications. You're evolving in your business from the operator to the builder. And builders don't stand in the doorway all day. They design rooms that function without them. If you're under 100,000 and everything still relies on you, Done by 3 helps you shrink that chaos and create some space for you. And if you're running employees, running a team and still feel like the glue, then the Moxie Business Advantage is where we install the leadership layers and the visibility systems. This is structure because success isn't about you and I being indispensable. It's about building something that breathes and runs without you. Till next time, stay Moxie.